the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the Sports Nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitude, better known in Nerd Nation as the Rampage. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right.
Hi guys, this is a special Tuesday edition of the Sports Nerds. Surprise, surprise! But I did mention that Sunday night we'd be going 3 days a week, and that's fine. Elliot and I are here. We're going to be talking some sports and some football and other stuff going on for the next 30 minutes, 60 minutes, however long we're going to be online. Doesn't matter. But we're going to do a quick show, and I hope everybody joins us. It's going to be good to see you. Elliot, I'm glad to see you because you weren't here last week, but that's okay. Yeah, I know you're feeling better, which is good to have you back on the show.
That was just 2 days ago. I was here the previous week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, I'm getting healing.
You're healing.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Matter of fact, if you permit me, I'm gonna go grab my brace and my thing because I'm starting to get that wrist pain.
You got wrist pain?
Yeah, I had a little bit of an old man accident.
Yeah, we are old men doing this show. John's the baby of the show, but we are old men doing the show.
One of those incidences, I think it was more of one of my MS episodes where I just started feeling pain.
Right.
Everything was like out of sorts, and
yep.
I went to go break my fall with as I was leaning towards my bed, and I hit my wrist on the frame on the side, and then my elbow went crashing to the ground. So
right.
There was a whole lot of not fun stuff. So now I'm just wrapping the wrist up so that I don't start whimpering in the middle of the show. All right, go ahead, man. Get your roll on.
Let's we're going to talk about a couple the last two nights games on Sunday night and Monday night. First off, Sunday night, I know John wasn't happy. The Bengals beat the Bills.
John's never happy.
What's that?
John's never happy when the Bills lose.
No, he's never happy when the Bills lose. I know that.
I think he goes into mourning for about a week.
Yeah, pretty much. So the final was 24-18, the Bengals. I mean, Bills are having issues. I don't know what's going on with the Bills. They're having issues, but it looks like Cincinnati's back, and that scares me because as a Browns fan, I don't want the Bengals to be back.
Well, look, I think the Bills were succeeding more in the early part of the season because, well, Josh was being Josh, and he's pretty much that way all the time. But
right,
their running game was working. James Cook was doing his thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were gaining yards on the ground, and they were winning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you take away the blunder of the Jets game, okay, because that was basically them giving the Jets a gift.
Correct.
All right. You see a different situation now. I mean, they're not running the ball effectively.
Right.
Okay, they went out and signed Leonard Fournette, which he's not going to be ready right away.
Fournette was signed this week, but he was still in the practice squad for the game Sunday night, so he wasn't playing.
So, but you know what? What their thought is because Latavius Murray is only gaining 3.3 yards per carry on the ground.
Right.
That Fournette, who tends to take out big chunks of yardage and also is good out of the backfield in the pass.
Yes.
In the passing game. Okay. Plus, he's got championship pedigree.
He does.
He's been there. Okay. So, I'm thinking that he comes in and he supplants Latavius Murray as the RB2 once he goes active. And then
but you think James Cook will still be RB1 as opposed to Fournette?
I'm sorry?
You think James Cook will still be at your RB1?
Well, they have to give James Cook the benefit of the doubt on that
Okay.
until Fournette learns the playbook,
Yeah.
at better, and until he gets accustomed to the offense and stuff.
Mhm.
But honestly, it wouldn't be a very long leap for Fournette to eventually supplant Cook as the RB1.
Right.
Again, this could happen come week 14 when the Bills come off of their bye.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
if they can get Fournette in effectively, let's say week 12, 11, 12.
Yeah, because we're coming up
bring
on
him in
week 10
slowly,
already. We're coming
you
up
know
on
what
week
I'm
10
saying?
already. So
If he gets to week 12 and he's balling, you can count on week 14 Leonard Fournette being RB1.
okay.
Because James Cook just ain't doing it. And the reason is James Cook really is not a 3-down back.
No, he's not.
No, he's more of a like what Devin Singletary used to be in Buffalo. You know what I mean? They're practically the same size,
Yeah.
and he's not a brutal runner like his brother Dalvin.
No,
Okay.
he's not.
So,
Although Dalvin hasn't shown much in New York either since he's been
well,
with the Jets.
Dalvin's not showing anything in New York because his season was done when Aaron Rodgers' season was done.
Correct.
Because he came to play there with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And he'd be probably more involved in the offense if Rodgers was still the quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're wanting to push Breece Hall. You know what I'm saying? Which is no. I mean,
Breece Hall's an excellent back, so I can't blame him for
you
that.
can't blame them for doing that.
No, absolutely not.
And Dalvin Cook did ask to be traded.
Yep.
But hey, I mean, I don't know, but they are wasting Dalvin Cook away. Dalvin Cook could be doing something, you know what I'm saying? Something for somebody else.
Right.
And somebody should have made an offer before the trade deadline. Who knows? The Jets might have gone for it. But as I was saying, Buffalo needs to establish their run game. And I have a feeling that Leonard Fournette is that guy.
Yep.
And it may take a minute or two, but once he gets comfortable, watch out. Because he's a brutal runner too.
He is. He's a bruiser. Yes, you're right.
He'd win one of those Kyle Brandt
The angry run scepter.
The scepter, there you go. The angry run scepter. Fournette could do that. And again, he's great out of the backfield. So
yep.
And he's got much more experience and much more talent, I believe, than James Cook.
Yep.
So
yep.
As far as Cincinnati, it's not just Cincinnati's offense that's looking good.
Defense is playing out of their minds right now. Yes.
Okay. And if you get that combination at full tilt, watch out. Watch out.
Cincinnati is showing how good a defense they really did. It took them a few games. It took them a few weeks to get it going, but they're showing.
Go ahead.
They're showing that their defense is in the top 5, the top 10 in the NFL. I mean, they shut Buffalo down in the second half Sunday night, and they couldn't do anything.
And on top of that, they already have a win under their belt against Baltimore.
Yes.
And that's when they weren't at full capacity.
Correct.
So I'm kind of looking forward to that next matchup between Baltimore and Cincinnati. Now
I'm looking forward to the Browns I'm looking forward to the Browns matchup after what they did to Arizona on Sunday. I'm looking forward to this game next week with the Browns and the Ravens. I mean,
but you know what? I wouldn't toot my horn too loud because of what you did to Arizona.
No, and I did. I mean, basically what I said Sunday night was, well, after all, it was the Cardinals.
This is Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, 7 sacks, and they held them to 58 total yards between passing and running.
I wasn't shocked because, I mean, who's their quarterback? Tune?
Yeah, he was a rookie.
That dude couldn't play a tune.
Right.
Okay, so to me, it's like that was expected, actually. A blowout like that. I'm surprised it wasn't worse than 27-0. So, that's just another one of those early Christmas presents for your Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of Dobbs, and what Dobbs did Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that was just unbelievable.
Okay.
Just unbelievable.
That was off the charts, man. He came in there. He kind of did like Baker did last year when he went to the Rams. Comes in on a Tuesday, goes out and plays on a Thursday, and beats the Raiders. Although the Raiders beat themselves that night. And then Dobbs, what he did, oh my God. It's just like, this guy is an amazing story.
Yep.
An amazing story. I mean, I remember the little story that they did on him in the beginning where he was doing so good with the Cardinals, and then fans went to go buy his shirt, his jersey.
He wasn't there.
But they didn't have it made yet. It wasn't in the pro shop. They had everybody else but him. And then now the same thing in Minnesota. I'm sure they're printing them bad boys out like this.
Dude came in on a Tuesday and balled out the following Sunday.
I mean, balled out.
Yes.
Okay, what he did was amazing.
Yes.
It was all because Jaron Hall got injured in that first drive.
Yep.
And then he came in and showed what he could do. I mean, come on, the man ran for 2 touchdowns. He threw the game-winning touchdown. That was just amazing. I think the only performance more amazing than that this week was C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud had a great game too.
Oh my God, 470 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
And then he led them on a game-winning drive, 75 yards in 40 seconds.
40 seconds. Yep. He had 46 seconds left on the clock, and he took him 75 yards in 40 seconds. The Buccaneers defense just got eaten up. They just chewed the hell out of the Bucs defense.
And you know what? That's shocking because the Tampa Bay defense is usually at least halfway decent, if not really good.
Yeah.
But they got taken to task on Sunday by C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing because you know what? Houston has no running game. None.
No, nothing to speak of. No.
Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary are doing nothing. Okay, they're living off the arm of C.J. Stroud. Now, as C.J. Stroud goes, so do they, because he didn't have a great game against Carolina and they lost.
Right.
They should have beat Carolina.
Right.
But C.J. Stroud had a terrible game. Again,
Yeah, well, it just goes to prove the old adage: any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure you discussed these games on Sunday, but I just wanted to, bring it up again because there were some pretty spectacular performances.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to the Bengals, I mean, there's a concern this week with Jamar Chase. He hurt his back.
He hurt his back in the game on Sunday night, and he's day-to-day right now.
Yeah.
He's day-to-day.
So, well, that's going to be a little bit of an uptick for T. Higgins
Mm-hmm.
If Jamar Chase can't play.
Correct.
So, but it's the difference between the gimpy Joe Burrow at the beginning of the season and the Joe Burrow that is grounded on both legs equally and no longer having that issue.
Right. Right.
And the defense now is feeding off of that. Because guess why? Because he's having sustained drives, which means that the defense gets plenty of rest throughout the game.
Yes.
That's the whole equation. And if things couldn't have got worse for the Giants, Daniel Jones torn ACL.
Daniel Jones torn ACL. That means Vinny, whatever the kid's name
Vito.
is. Vito. Yes, Vito.
DeVito.
Vito
Like
is now
Danny
the starting
DeVito.
quarterback. Yes, he's now the starting quarterback moving forward, unless the Giants want to sign somebody in free agency.
Which is a good segue to
Which brings me to the subject of the Los Angeles Rams signed Carson Wentz today.
Right.
Now, is that because of the uncertainty of Matthew Stafford?
Nope.
I mean, they turned around and released the quarterback that started for him on Sunday.
Mhm.
They released whatever his name,
They released
Rippon.
another unknown
Brett
quarterback
Rippon.
too,
Brett Rippon. They released him.
and they released another quarterback whose name
Yeah.
I never heard of.
Yeah. So, I mean, is Matt
What do you?
Stafford?
What's your opinion? Why do you think they signed Carson Wentz?
Well, because after all, McVay is the quarterback whisperer. See what he did? You see what he did with Baker Mayfield last year. So who knows? Maybe he can put Carson Wentz back on a decent track. I'm not saying Carson Wentz is the future for the Rams. I'm just saying maybe he can get some training done and be a better quarterback with the Rams than he was with Philadelphia, Indianapolis, Washington. Who knows?
Now remember, when he was with those teams, his career started out great. Okay, and then
Well, he
there
was
was
on
that
an MVP.
injury
He was on an MVP pace in
until
2017. He really
until
was.
the knee injury.
Right.
Against who? The Rams, was it?
Yes, it was the Rams. Yes.
And then that's when Nick Foles came in and took them on that magical ride, right?
Correct.
And they won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
He's been playing behind the 8 ball ever since.
Correct.
And I think Carson Wentz might have become a bit gun shy when it came to running because of what happened.
You think he's got PTSD from that knee injury?
I believe so. Because look how it impacted his career. So he went from riches to rags.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, he's the backup quarterback with no hope. You know what I'm saying? They even had Nick Foles starting the next year ahead of him.
Yep.
You know, and to somebody like a Carson Wentz, that could be devastating to you. You know, but he couldn't complain. I mean, Foles won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And once Foles started to falter and he came in, it's like there's a different mentality when you know you're the guy and when you're coming in because they need you to come in and mop up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a fit in Indianapolis for Frank Reich.
No, I don't think so either.
I didn't think so there. And I didn't think he was a fit in Washington either with
Well, I mean that
Riverboat Ron.
the whole situation in Washington was bad to begin with, and it was because of the previous owner.
Yeah, Washington's always been a quarterback conundrum.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, the Redskins. The Commanders / Redskins have not had a decent quarterback since Mark Rippon. RG3 showed potential, but injury killed him.
They should have kept Kirk Cousins.
Probably. But
Okay. I think the best quarterback they had was Kirk Cousins, the last good quarterback they had. But now Cousins went to Minnesota, did his thing. Unfortunately, got injured. But So anyway, getting back to Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. I know from scanning the internet sites for the sports and stuff like that. With the bye week, that's one more week for Stafford. He's coming back in week 11.
Yeah, I mean they're on a bye this week, so it's going to give Stafford time to rest.
Right. So he it's already been confirmed he'll be back in week 11.
Correct.
All right. Which makes Carson basically puts him in the Nick Foles situation where he's the backup. The reason they got rid of Rippon and the other guys, what track history does Brent Rippon have?
He doesn't have any, and he was doing a bad job.
And no matter where he's gone, he's never done a good job. Why do you think?
I mean the Rams really stunk it up this past week. They really did.
Why do you think the Jets still have Zach Wilson at quarterback with Trevor Siemian on the roster? Because Trevor Siemian ain't never done shit either.
Right.
So I think Wentz comes in as the backup. So if something else were to occur with Matthew Stafford, at least they got an experienced guy coming in that has some success at some point in his career, not somebody who's never had success.
Right.
in their career and just showed why they're not a good NFL quarterback. Because when you got targets like Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp,
right,
that's a bad quarterback if you can't get the offense rolling on that.
agreed.
They got Tyler Higbee. It's not like they had inexperienced backs. They had Anderson, Freeman.
Yep.
They just, and Green Bay wasn't great on on defense either, especially against the run. But still, it's like you just don't want to go forward that way.
Nope.
Just like the Giants. Once Tyrod Taylor went down, they should have been looking for somebody else to play ahead of Vito DeVito.
You know what? And again, and with Daniel Jones' injury, that to me spells that the Daniel Jones era in New York is over.
It's been discussed that he probably took his last snap. For the Giants.
Yes.
Because suffice it to say, they could finish with one of the worst records in the league.
And they're on the hook next year for Daniel Jones' contract. But
that's all right. Well, you know what? The Raiders are on the hook for Gruden and McDaniel now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. $85 million later, Mike Davis is still paying for coaches who aren't coaching his team.
Don't forget the genius contract Bobby Bonilla got with the Mets. You know what I'm saying? So, things like that, they happen. But again, I just think Wentz is in there to be that emergency situation with at least some semblance of, because I mean, come on, I think Wentz with the weapons that the Rams have could possibly lead them for a game or two here and there.
Right.
If need be. And again, if you look back, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, you could keep Brett Rippon.
Jesus.
All right, it's not like they probably paid him that much to come back either.
No, they didn't. Let's touch base on a couple of things before we get out of here, because I'm ready to go out of here by about 8:00. So, congratulations to the Chicago Cubs hiring Craig Counsell as their new manager. He moves from Milwaukee to Chicago. You know what? I don't know that I like this move, because their manager was only got them two wins away from the playoffs. And Ross is a Chicago hero because he's the hero of the 2016 World Series. Right. But I guess the Cubs wanted who they wanted. So,
I mean, you look at Counsell, and he's been a great manager for Milwaukee for years now. And when a manager like that is available, you got to at least test the waters.
Yep.
And apparently they put enough chum in the water for Counsell to sign with them.
I guess. So congrats on that. The Jets are terrible. Greenberg is having a nightmare, and I'm happy with that.
Oh, Greenberg finally admitted today on Get Up that he doesn't think the Jets are going to make playoffs.
Thank you for coming back down to reality, Mr. Greenberg. We appreciate it.
He was sad.
It's funny because Rich Eisen is in Germany because he's going to call the game between the Patriots and the Colts this weekend. And he was asked yesterday or the day before if he was going to stay up and watch the game, and he said 2 words: hell no.
Well, I'm hearing through the grapevine that if the Patriots lose to the Colts in Germany, Bill Belichick might get fired.
No, you know what? Robert Kraft is not going to fire Bill Belichick in the middle of the season. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
You know what?
It's not going to happen, Elliot. It's not going to happen.
Stranger thing. Don't make me go and tell you I told you so.
If you do, it's fine.
I'm not saying that it's going to happen.
But I'm telling you it's not going to happen.
I'm just, whether it happens or not, it doesn't affect my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying there's people out there putting it out there.
Yep, I know.
Okay.
Have you been following the Michigan scandal?
From a distance. I mean, I think the NCAA just had a hard-on for Jim Harbaugh. I think that they would rather not see him in the college ranks anymore. For whatever reason, you know, but they were talking to a few players and veterans, and college players, you know.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what? They're making a big deal about nothing because
Well,
sign stealing is nothing that's gonna.
Charles Woodson was on the Rich Eisen show today. Andrew Siciliano was co-hosting it, or was hosting it, and he flat out said, "I can't see where Jim would condone that type of behavior because of his integrity and the respect that he has based on his dad and on the coaching position itself." Okay, so I mean Woodson. I don't know how inside Woodson is with Michigan. I know he's a Michigan alum. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's a Super Bowl champion.
That makes him an insider.
Yeah. So I mean, I tend to believe Woodson's opinion because I know Jim Harbaugh. He grew up as the son of a football coach, and he has a lot of respect as far as the integrity of the position. So
I think, honestly, I mean, like I said, I was listening to a couple people today. As a matter of fact, they were talking to somebody on the Pat McAfee show today, and they said when it comes down to brass tacks, sign stealing is everybody does it.
Yes, I mean, there's even reports that,
and it doesn't. It's not going to have the impact that these people are making it out to be.
Right, and there's also a report out there where other programs in the Big Ten were being sent information on Michigan's signals, to include Ohio State, Iowa, Michigan State.
Yeah,
so
people that hate Michigan.
Yes.
Or colleges that hate Michigan. And you know what? Jim Harbaugh has a long list of people that don't like him.
I don't like him.
Okay, I get that. I like him. He did well with the 49ers, took us to a Super Bowl, came that close to winning.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I really think if they suspend him, he should just resign and move on back to the NFL.
Yep.
Find himself a team in the NFL that could use him, because he makes you an instant contender just by his way of coaching.
Chicago.
John Harbaugh. Look at John Harbaugh. I mean, he's
Chicago, the Chargers, the Colts, but they got a new coach, so they're going to get rid of the
49ers.
But he's not.
I'm just saying that the teams he's had success with is the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Chicago, I think it would be the landing spot for him, because Eberflus
I can see that.
Is an idiot.
Yep, I can see that.
He's an idiot.
Yep.
Okay. So I mean, I don't know. It's a sticky situation. I get it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just don't see where how can they absolutely prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he had knowledge? Huh?
Yeah.
That was like trying to prove that Tom Brady had knowledge of the freaking Spygate. You know,
yeah, there's no indication he did, or Deflategate for that matter,
or the Belichick for that matter. You know what I'm saying? If in a court of law, you'd have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt, and I just don't see it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just don't see it.
All right, let's get out of here, Elliot.
Wait a minute, you missed Kyler Murray.
That's all right. Kyler Murray's active. He's going to play this weekend.
No big deal.
No big deal. I don't know how well he's going to be, but because he hasn't played in.
They weren't good with him before. They won't be good with him now.
Correct. So, on that note, let's get out of here. We'll be back again.
Thursday
after discussion with Mr. Olson, I may change the days of the week to Wednesday and Friday, depending on his availability, because he may want to come on the show, because he has his own podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, I'll discuss it with him and see where we're going to go. All right. But on that note, yep, we're going to get out of here. Play the outro so I can go get some sleep.
What the hell?
Or not.
There we go.
Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we are still alive to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right, and his co-host, John Olson, Ken Coslow, our lovable members in the Rat Pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, Peter Nation, we would like to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for heaven's sake, please wear a damn mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Rant Pack. And with that, fellas, we